It is that time once again. It is time for Why Shit Got Banned, and if it seems like these videos are coming pretty quickly, it's because they are. Oh shit! I'm not redoing that. Okay, the reason I'm doing a lot of these lately is because Sun and Moon is coming very soon, and more importantly, we get a demo very soon, October the 18th, I believe. And I mean, once we get that glimpse of Sun and Moon, everyone's gonna be talking about it, and to keep it short, no one's gonna give a shit about ORAS anymore that demo, um, once that demo comes along. So I want to try and do as many Why Shit Got Banned episodes before everyone is consumed by Pokemon Sun and Moon. So yeah, there it is. And this time we're doing relative. I think this is the most recent ban from the Smogon OU tier, and that is Hoopa-Unbound. And it's an interesting case of. It's a really unique case because it is a Pokemon that was, for the longest time, not even considered unhealthy for the meta. Nothing really changed for Hoopa-Unbound itself in terms of its move pool or its stats or ability, anything like that. It was a transition in the metagame and how people were using Hoopa-Unbound that put it over the edge, and that's a case that I've rarely ever seen in a Pokemon, where it transitions from being healthy to unhealthy because of how people use it, rather than any changes that Game Freak made to the game itself. Such as, like with Greninja, it was kind of that way, where it got Gunk Shot and Low Kick, and then that pushed it over the edge. It's not really the case here. And so it all kind of came down to one particular set that wasn't used very much when Hoopa was first released. Everyone was kind of obsessing over the attack stat and the good physical move pool that it had, but the set that really ended up breaking it and getting it in trouble with the OU Council and the general player base is the Choice Spec set, which really just lacked a counter. I mean, even now that I'm thinking about it, you can't even use Chansey for that because, of course, it gets access to Psyshock, and I easily would 2-hit KO. Would it 2-hit KO Chansey? Regardless, you don't want to switch in a Chansey on a Hoopa, not just because of Psyshock, but because it could be running the physical mixed set that was so popular at the beginning of its lifetime in the overused tier. And I mean, honestly, if I had a gun put to my head at the time and had to choose whether or not to ban it, I probably would have said no. I mean, it was really kind of a close suspect test, but in the end, the reason it was banned is because it has kind of just enough speed to invalidate most of what balance brings. Like, in order to really effectively check it, you effectively have to have like some sort of hyper offense build where everything is faster than base 80 speed. And that was really your way of dealing with Hoopa-Unbound, is just bring faster mons. And as we know, that's not really a good reason for a Pokemon not to get banned, as we have seen that from Pokemon like Greninja and Aegislash, which was even slower than Hoopa. And another problem is that even though its physical bulk is pretty fucking terrible and its typing is absolute shit, it has a surprisingly good special defense stat, to the point where it can even switch into weaker special moves, such as Pokemon that don't have any investment and rely on moves like Scald. And it even takes uninvested, like you don't invest any into HP and special defense. It actually takes a Life Orb Draco from Latios, which is absolutely crazy. This is an attack that demolishes just about any offensive Pokemon, even if it resists it. Bisharp takes over 50 from that move, if I'm not mistaken, and Hoopa has enough bulk to live it without a resistance. So it was stuff like that that allowed Hoopa to get free switch-ins and essentially free kills with the Choice Spec set, because teams in OU just did not have counters. Counters effectively did not exist. I'm even trying to think of one right now that could viably exist, but whatever I come up with probably wouldn't have been viable in OU to begin with. Like maybe Porygon 2. That's the only thing I can come up with. I'm trying to think of something that resists like Dark, Psychic. Because the thing is, it also had Nasty Plot. No, not Nasty Plot. Fuck. I'm just reading what's on my screen. Focus Blast to demolish any switch-ins that would otherwise be resistant to Dark or Psychic. So, yeah, it really didn't have any counters, and this was recognized from the very beginning, but it just didn't become a problem until people realized that, like, how many free switch-ins it could get because of its special defense stat and the monumental choice spec set that was not really discovered until later on, because at first it was kind of seen as a very similar Pokemon to Kyurem Black, where it didn't have any counters and people recognized this, but it didn't have enough impact on the metagame for that to be an issue. I mean, we're never really calling for bans for Kyurem Black, right? Because even though it doesn't have any counters, it has a million other issues that kind of balance it out. One of them being that it doesn't have the adequate move pool to take advantage of its most important stat, which is attack. Whereas Hoopa-Unbound can take advantage of both stats pretty easily. I'm trying to remember exactly what the stats were on that voting. Let me go check right now, because I don't want to say that it was close before knowing for absolute certain. Alright, I'm looking at the article right now. I didn't even know this existed. This is very useful. I'm going to link this in the description. So it's kind of cut off, so you can't actually see the conclusion, but it was 61%, which probably means it was decided by like 1 or 2 votes, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, this kind of just validates what I've said before, that it gets a lot of free attacks off because of its unusually high special defense. And here, this paragraph especially is very interesting. It kind of speaks to what I've been preaching before about Pokemon like Aegislash, that these Pokemon skews the risk-reward evaluation onto the side of the user that's using that broken Pokemon. And a lot of that stems from certain Pokemon having more opportunities to essentially get free kills because of either their bulk or their speed in the case of Greninja, bulk in the case of Aegislash. And with Hoopa, it just sort of lends itself to raw power, and that's probably the cause of it not being suspected for a long time. For a long time it was very under the radar because it had just the right amount of flaws until people discovered the choice spec set to just kind of fly under the radar. So this was the latest suspect and ban from the Smogon OU tier, and I don't think there's I don't think there's anything else to add here. You can go ahead and comment in the comment section down below which Pokemon you want me to do next hopefully before the demo comes out. I'll be able to get at least one more of these out. And once again, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I've done Pokemon Showdown. We just finished Dark Souls 3 on that channel. I might do a return to Lordran series where we go back to Dark Souls 1, just make a character from scratch there. And I'll play other games there as well. So that's all I have to say. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, and I will see you guys next time.